Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hello Crypto. Tonight, it's going to be just me, no co host, no guest, straight charts, and straight truth. All right, so it is Tuesday, February the 10th, 2026. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. We're covering Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and we might take a quick look at HBAR and some others as well. The market's been moving with the choppy volatility, energy. Bitcoin's been hovering, around that 69, 70,000 zone, and we're seeing the usual rotation and nerves across majors. So if you're here for clean levels, key zones, and the multi-time frame context, you're in the right place. Smash that like, subscribe, and let's get over into it. So let's get started over here and let's go ahead and just take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, let's get started with it. So as we see, we created a new weekly candle here, which the last one we had was a high of $79,320 with a low of that $60,060, right? So what are we looking at? Well, according to our visual chart here, this is one of the two indicators that I do have. It's available in the Discord, but we are closing in on dropping down here to get a green dot entry. We got the red here, and then it pushed, pushed, pushed. Now we're almost there. Now here's the catch, okay? So we've probably already got that. Yep. So we've already come down and got the green dots here on Bitcoin as it's done hit twice. Then yes, it's time to go, but not really. Not when you get to looking at the weekly. We still have some more we got to pull back down. But now when you break it down to the monthly as well, look at this. The monthly's lining up too. So if we get a daily, weekly, and a monthly green dot on all three, you know what that means? Yes, that's right. We're going to be seeing these upsides. We're going to be seeing some movement that we've been needing. Now, how far are we going to go down? Hopefully, what we're looking at is just another retracement down into this bottom area where our wick is here. We're not looking to push anything further than that. So going from right where we're at down to there, you're looking at another roughly about 13% drop. So what I'm looking for when I go in here for any kind of trades right now is I'm looking for the downside and using our 60s, indicators here, the alpha pulse, the green line is what I'm using as one of my indicators. If we push up towards the green line, I want to take and get another entry up in here. However, from where we're at, I'm going to be looking at us to continue to drop daily like we did the previous week, okay? So we want to see that keep pushing and stuff, and then dropping back down in here, finding that there is some good support here. Now, if we break that, that'd be a different story for another day. Right now, we're not going to get that far ahead of ourselves. We're going to take and just look at what we have currently for today, what we're looking for this week, and then on Sunday we'll re-look over everything after we got that new weekly candle has been filled. Okay, so looking at it right now, I mean, I could take you across multiple time frames and show you how we've already hit the 1 minute pink line here. We've already come over right in here. We'd hit the pink line for the 5 minute stuff, but we're going to continue to see some more downside as there's a pink line. Downside to reclaim that support, make sure we have really good support before we push off. And man, and it shows where we're going to be going as we push back up. Some of the prices, even showing up in some of our order blocks like the 73,000 area there. And then, of course, we have some above those. But if we get enough support, enough volatility coming in after the end of this week, we could really see some really nice upsides. Maybe another rally or maybe another bull run fixing to kick in. Because, I mean, when we get to looking at it, we've got the green dot saying it's time to go on the daily. And then you got the weekly saying we're almost there. And then the monthly's telling us, hey, a little bit more. Yes, we're going to see that flip and push back to the upside. So again, we're looking at another about 13% drop for Bitcoin. Moving on over to Ethereum, let's take a look at it. Now here on the monthly, it still has a ways to go. For Ethereum, we could be seeing a drop down into that 1600 area. And what we'll be looking at for a drop from there, I mean, if we were to drop from here, back down to where we was at, you're still looking about that 13%. On down into this one, you're looking at, anywhere from a 17 to 22% drop for Ethereum to get this one into the monthly dropped area, weekly as well, as it does have more downside. Daily, it's already saying it's time to go. So for Ethereum, we can actually see a little bit more of a drop for it than we do on the other ones. So be careful there. If we break this recent low here of $1,749, be looking for that lower $1,600 down to the $1,500 area, and then we'll catch some support there to push back to the upside. And then, of course, we got to get to XRP. So XRP is actually doing the same thing. Right now, it's showing the dailies curving to the upside here, that we're ready to go. But the weekly says we still have to continue to the downside. So as there well might be a little bit of upsides on the daily, that's just getting us another entry for another short. Now, if it does pull up above our daily green line here, and then break above it, I would be looking to see us to possibly get a little bit of a rally before we wind up having another drop back down. Because on the weekly and on the monthly, it's showing that we still have to push on down to break through and get us a green light on all three. All three of those light up, we're going to be, some people call it the moon bags. We'll be on our way up. So that's what the prediction is. That's what the charts are showing. I've been pretty accurate with these charts, as I have some members who have looked at this and said, man, it's like you have created a time machine, because you can see where we're going before it even does what it needs to do. So you can be able to prepare ahead of time. So if you was looking at trading this, shorting it, it's definitely one of the ways of doing it. I've been shorting it for the past few days, and I've been successful on each one. Now, depending on how much leverage you want to use, that's a different story. Now, if you want to be able to figure out your leverage, head on over to the 60strading.com, check out the trade calculator. We do have an update that we're going to be working on to put in there and stuff. We're going to try to get the fees factored in for a few of the trading platforms that's out there. So you'll be able to know, okay, if I do this trade, here's what the profits should be at, and the percentage and all that, as well as the losses. Now, what would it be if I do it as a limit versus a market order and stuff like that? So that way you can be able to make sure that whatever you're going to trade, you can get in at the best price, and you can actually make more money, reduce your fees, and all that good stuff. So that's going to be a great update. Jay from the Alpha Angle is going to be working on that one, and we hope to see that one soon. But that's what we've got right now. Everything is still kind of just playing sideways inside of our big daily candles here. So here's this big, beautiful daily candle with the wicks on both ends that we are playing the good old sideways candle hopping, I would say. So we're going to be seeing the daily candle here dropping below this last low that we had over here of $1.3733. Working our way back down to that dollar, $1.15 or so, down to the $1.05. If we was to break that, here's the thing, here's the kicker. If there is like one of those all out, blood in the streets moments where you want people to jump ship before they take off, we zoom on out. The only other one I've got really called out here on like a daily and weekly area stuff is around that 52 cent. Technically, I think I got it actually around 63 or 65 cent, all the way down to that 50 cent area. So there is one major spot there. If they do decide that once we get down through here, they want to pull another one of those October 10th candles, what we call the murder candles, that murder candle could drop all the way down in here. Let's just take a look right here real quick. So we had here, the drop down here, we had a 55% drop So what could we get if we come here and we drop down in here? Look at that, a 55% drop. Could it happen? Yes, because nobody ever expected that. I mean, I've called it out for a long time. Then when it happened, I'm like, wow, I was called crazy, but it did happen. So from where our last wick was, a 55% drop, and then pull back up and take off after all the people jump out, running for the, running to try to save their money and get out. For me, if it drops down and I get a chance, I'm gonna back up the truck and I'm gonna load up some more. Okay, that's just what I'm gonna do. But let's go over here, take a look at HBAR, see what we got going on here. So with HBAR, we still haven't come down and hit our current order block that we have sitting down here, sitting down around the 5 cent down to the 4 cent area. So what are we looking at? We're looking at this pulling back at least around 17 to 20%, possibly another 44 to 50% drop before we see another push up on HBAR. If we do get a little bit of a rally or something here, you'd be looking at this first order block we got up here at around 11 cent to 12 cent, and then another one on up around 17 cent up to the 18 cent area. There is more in there, but we're not going to be trying to chart all those out. We're just trying to take and catch it what we can. And then of course daily, I'm going to try to drop any updates. Make sure if you haven't already, head over to the Discord, get signed up and get joined in here and stuff, and then drop in some of the other coins you want us to look at. I do want to start pulling in and taking a look at some of these other coins, like some Zebek and other little coins or memes that people want to see and stuff. So here with Zebek, currently looking at, we're in the downtrend as well, pretty much for all of these coins. So we're still looking at somewhere around a 26 to 38%, possibly a 55% drop with Zebek, and then another push to the upside as we do have that big, huge order block to the downside there. And then from there to the upside, it does look like on the daily it's getting ready for a takeoff again. Weekly shows we're pulling down there, getting ready for another one as well as monthly. So pretty much all these coins are saying the same thing. So me looking at them, really only thing I could be doing is just kind of telling you kind of what the blocks are looking like as far as price wise. But in general, we're on the downside for a majority of all these for the same. The alpha visual pulse is actually, corrections, alpha visual indicator is actually showing that same thing is the daily, the weekly, and the monthly are aligning, like the moons, suns, and everything is aligning for the next bull run. Okay, so just a quick pause. If you are rocking with the show and want to support what we're building, Alpha Angle is our partner, crypto culture, accessories, and apparel. So make sure you go and check them out at the alphaangle.com. And if you're into the outdoors plus NFT side of the community, check out Trek Outdoors. That would be at trekoutdoorco.com. They've got perks, they got gear, and their Moosey NFTs can be found over on xrp.cafe. Of course, all the links are going to be in the description. So that is exactly what we've got so far is downside, looking to play them. I will give some more updates in the morning in the Discord. So if you are not part of the Discord, you're not going to get these updates in between. As we start to see some big movements, we get the next episodes out. So that is your Hello Crypto update for February the 10th, 2026. If you want the deeper breakdowns, the clean zones, and my live updates as the charts develop, make sure you join the 60s trading community. Links are below. Make sure to drop a comment. Which chart do you want me to cover next? Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, or HBAR, or some other ones. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Love y'all. Stay sharp, and make sure to move your stop losses into take profit. God bless, and we will see you all in the next one.